I am very thankful to be here. My name is Damon Jennings. I've been in Clarksville 99.9% of my life, so it is great to see Clarksville now as compared to what it has been. So I appreciate the opportunity to sit here and talk with you ladies. And I am from Clarksville. I'm married, father of one. My son's 26. I work for myself, but I work with a whole bunch of different companies. And I'll talk about that later because I'm not here to talk too much about my business and everything. I want to talk about my mission because that's one of the things I'm glad Juanita allowed me to come and talk with you ladies about the mission that I have. And the mission, just like it says, is to save families, to create generational wealth. And I'm very glad that I'm in a room of strong women because I'm a product of a single mother. My mother raised 4 kids by herself. I know the struggle that single moms have had, and this was years ago, so the struggle is even harder. So I know the struggle, and I know the things that my mother went through to take care of us. I had a brother that was a knucklehead, so there's a little extra work there. But she did a great job raising us because I think I'm a pretty good dude. My wife loves me. We've been married for over 20 years, so she wouldn't be with me if there wasn't something being brought to the table. So I know that my mother taught me how to be a good person, how to do my best when I'm working, how to get educated, go to school, all these great things, how to separate your colors when you're washing clothes. I don't even know if kids do that now. But she taught me all these different things. But one of the things she couldn't teach us about was generational wealth, was about family legacies. These words didn't happen growing up in our household. And I'm very glad there are a couple of young ladies here because we need to have the conversations at home. We need to make it a regular to be talking about moving our families 3, 4, 5 generations forward. And I'm not a preacher. I'm not a biblical knowledge individual, but I know things that make sense. And part of things that make sense in the Bible is building not just for today, but for 3 generations. I want kids that I'm never going to see to know that because great granddaddy Damon did X, we are set up. I want my picture to be on the mantle, like theirs are. You have the picture on the mantle with the pipe and your dog by you. That's what I want for our families. And it doesn't just happen. Those things don't happen because we don't get the information. And I have been lucky enough to sit at the table with those that have so I can learn and bring information to those that usually don't get. And that is the information about changing the direction, changing the things that we've done, changing our lives, and being educated about it. It's not just about saying I want to change. It's about knowing the tools that are out there, taking advantage of them, and then passing them, I say, up. Some people say passing down to the next generation, but I'm building up. I want my foundation to be good, strong, and solid so I can build on it and then add more and then build up for my son to take over and then his children. So I'm building up. I'm not passing down, but I'm passing up information that we usually don't get so we can change the direction of all of our lives. And I don't really know why females haven't taken over the world because females are nurturers. You're the life givers. You're the ones that keep the home together. You're the first sources of education. And I don't know why females haven't band together and took over the world, but I'm glad that it sort of started.
I got an answer. We're working on it. It's hormonal, we got a hormone.
Well, that's because when we get done doing half the world, we got to go home and take care of our family.
That too.
So,
We're emotional.
All right. Well, at least I'm getting an answer. So, but you get the idea. I know that females are extremely strong. Matter of fact, if guys had to have kids, the population would be a third of what it is now. So I don't know why females haven't taken over because you got it. You got the power. Now we just need to get you the knowledge so you can help make that change and then take over your own family, your own future. My vision is to create positive changes for our communities through increasing knowledge about money and sharing that knowledge, and not only getting the knowledge but using it. Hosea 4:6, where there's a lack of knowledge, my people will perish. But I add to that by saying that we have to apply the knowledge. It's not good enough for me to know how to tie my shoe if I don't tie my shoe. When I walk, I'm still going to trip. So we need to bring the knowledge to the table and then use the tools that are out there so we can accomplish the same things that wealthy families do. Everybody in here has heard of the Rockefellers, right? The Rockefellers are perpetually rich, generationally rich. And that's because it's planned, it's destined. And we don't do those things. We, if we're lucky enough, operate more like the Vanderbilts. We get wills and then we give them to the kids when they get 18 or whatever. And what happens if you give an 18-year-old a whole bunch of money? Exactly. So we don't know the different tools that are out there. And one of the quotes that I like to say is that I didn't come from a rich family. So a rich family has to come from me. It has to come from us. It has to come from the knowledge and then applying the knowledge. And I told you I work with a bunch of great companies. Those are the companies plus other ones that I work with. And financial services, it runs the gambit, IRAs, Roth IRAs. I didn't know there was a difference growing up. College funding. Who has a student loan or had a student loan? That was the only way that I knew to go to college outside of a piece of a scholarship. But you see me, I'm not a basketball player. I'm not a football player. So my scholarships were minimal. I had to get them through some academics, and that wasn't necessarily the easiest. But mutual funds, we've heard the term life insurance, but a whole lot of us don't understand the world of life insurance. So I explained the different aspects of life insurance, and I believe that everybody should have some sort of coverage. I don't care if you are a newborn to 110 years old, everybody should have some sort of coverage. But you have to know what you need and get what you need to be fully taken care of. That's why we focus on education before we just slap somebody into a product. Who's heard of creating a family bank?
Haven't done it, but I heard of it.
Because we usually don't know how. But those tools are out there. So what we do is we explain what the family bank system, or some people use the term infinite banking, but how to create your own bank. Think about this. Wealthy people, if they want to buy a car, say, which one of your daughters are the oldest? Y'all don't know?
They're not.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they were sisters. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Besties. Which one of y'all the oldest? Okay, how old are you? 13. 3 years, great grades. Somebody's going to get you a car, right? So, I don't know who that is in here. Manifesting. But wealthy people, they want to get their baby girl a car. They go to the car lot. They find out which car they want. Which car you want, sweetie? All righty. They go to the finance department. How much is that car financed? Well, it's financed at 7%. Okay. So they go to their bank, and they get their money, and they go to the bank, to the car lot, and they pay for the car outright. Number one, they have that possession. They don't create a payment. And then they pay themselves back with the interest that 7% interest they would have paid the bank, putting money in their pocket. We go to the finance company. How much is it? Oh, I can make that. Can I do $250 a month for 30% for 50 years? But we don't understand that, so we aren't able to do the same things and make the same moves and create family banks and take care of ourselves. 401k, 403b, those are the ones that I thought I knew the most about, because you grow up, go to college, get you a job. That's what they tell you. Get you a 401k, and that 401k is going to take you into retirement, right? Oh, okay, good. I was waiting on somebody to say yeah. But the 401k, and I never say plan anymore because it's a part of a plan. But the 401k is one of the worst things to happen to middle class people. 401k tells us, I'm going to talk about this a little bit in the future or in a couple of minutes. But a 401k is what we all believe that we need so we can retire. I got me a 401k, so I'm good. I grew up, had me a job with a 401k. I thought I had made it. I thought I had the American dream. I got me a house, got me a wife, got me a kid, got me a 401k. My job loves me. They're not paying me what I should be making. And they're giving me a whole bunch of certificates. I had a notebook full of certificates. I was happy. Yeah, I got another certificate, another pat on the back, another attaboy. Until I realized that, you go to Walmart, you can buy that certificate paper. You can pull up a certificate program. You can print off certificates all day long and plaster your wall with them. But you take them to the CDE, CDE ain't taking certificates. They want the rectangular certificates that are green. So those certificates didn't mean anything, but I was fooled into thinking that they did. So we don't get taught about things, and then you have the job that you think they like you, and they tell you, hey, what's your name again? Hey, Shay, we really like you. And now you can't opt out of a 401k. I mean, you have to opt out. They're opt in automatically. So we want you to overfund your 401k because it's for you. It's for your future, your retirement. So we match at 2%, but you should go ahead and put in 10%. And, okay, I will. It's for my future. I got a 401k. I'll overfund it. Don't know what that means, but I'll do it. And like I just said, we're taught, go to high school, go to college, get you a job in the cubicle farm. Follow the regular path, and this is going to lead to the regular dream. That was me till I was about 45, 46. And it actually took getting fired to actually open my eyes fully. But this is what we do. 70% of the population, middle class folks. 49,000 if you're single, typically 137,000 married couple. That's not a whole lot of money for two parents with a couple of kids that have a life. It might seem like it is, but I was about to say, somebody say that's you living like the God dollars with 137,000. Okay, we got kids, we got cars, we got homes, student loans, credit cards, personal loans, healthcare issues. Some of them we don't take care of. Mental health issues. Some of them we don't take care of. Vices. Who likes to go to the movies? Who has a bunch of Hulu, Netflix, all these different things? Who likes shopping? Who likes drinking beer or wine or cigars? All these different vices. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Not saying there's anything wrong with that. Everything has a place, and moderation is the key. So there's nothing wrong with it, but how many of us know people that are going to Rent-A-Center and getting washers and dryers and the big screen TVs? And I think I saw on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, hopefully it was fake, but Rent-A-Center is even renting Jordans now.
Lord Jesus. Yeah, it's not fake.
It's not.
I've seen it. Yep, it's real.
Really?
It's real.
Renting Jordans.
For what is like $50 a week or something?
No, ma'am.
So serious.
Well, yeah, I don't, me and hair, you know, so.
Hey, Harry's not
You get the point. You get what I'm saying. And we're bringing our kids up to think this is normal. We're bringing our kids up to think that this is what you're supposed to have. You're supposed to be flashy. You're supposed to have what they have. That means that you're something. I was teaching a class at Austin P, and this kid walked in. He was 19, and he walked in, and he was doing this here. And I'm like, whoa, hold up. You all right? Are you hurt? Some of y'all already know what he was doing. I didn't. There you go. I didn't know. I said, yeah, Karen, you're like me. I'm like, what's wrong? Are you hurt? Are you in a wreck? He said, no, I can't crease my J's. Just have to throw away and go get a new pair. That's what he said. It sounded French. I can't crease my J's. Else I'm going to have to throw away and go get a new pair. I said, hold up. I said, yeah, that's what I'm like, hold up. What does that mean? I thought it was French. And he says, you know what J's are? And I'm like, yeah, J's are the shoes. And he said, you know how when you walk on them, they get the crease? That devalues them. So you have to go get another pair. And I'm like, somebody has taught this 19-year-old man that it's normal to say that once I treat my shoe like a shoe and wear it and there's a crease, I need to throw these $200 shoes away and go get another pair. And then walk like this. So not only am I altering my walking, I'm also throwing money away on shoes that are meant to be shoes. But we do that because we don't know about assets versus liabilities. We don't teach ourselves that. Do you think a rich person that's wealthy and has been generationally wealthy is flashy?
No. Correct. Hold on. So we gotta know where we come from too. And us as black people, we come from our history is necklaces and jewelry. Well, in Africa, we'll get our ancestors or whatever. That's what they come from. They come from dance. They come from and we come from it. So that's why we go with the colors and the flash and stuff. So I hate it when we take it like, well, okay, hey, you're supposed to be flashing now, but at the same time, it's a moderation of it. You gotta
And
learn
I'm-
your
and again,
pants. If
I'm
I
not
can't
saying
afford it, I don't go get it.
don't be flashy,
Right,
but don't
you
rent
can,
Jordans to
you know,
impress somebody.
Yeah, but you gotta change.
Don't
your
put
mindset, that's all it is.
Gold in your mouth and your kids are wearing holes in the
Right.
jeans.
No,
And not the,
yeah,
well, I guess
yeah.
holes in the jeans now are natural.
2 or 3
But-
generations removed, like the thing was put on your Sunday's best, so it was always
Right,
you
right.
don't look how you feel.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So we see
Exactly.
that there's a disconnect in being wise with our
Right,
expenditures.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we go to college degree, $140,000, 6 years, $210,000, and we get on the student loan bandwagon, and those are hard to get off. And we think that the government's going to help us out. We think that I'm not going to pay it, so Biden's going to take it away. I got news for you. Those payments get ready to start back in the summer, October, September. But yeah, they're getting ready to start back up again. And well, that's hopefully that gives them another month to save up. And the people that haven't been paying their student loan payments, have they been saving that money?
No.
So now we got another bill, but we still stuck with that $46,000 a year.
And interest.
And it, I didn't even think about that. The interest. Yeah, but middle class stressors. We go to college, we don't know what we want to do, we do it because we're told, then we stop going to college. Stop going to college, you still have that student loan debt, and you still have to get another job. You get a job that is under what your earning potential could be because you stopped going to college, and now you have the bills, don't let you get hurt and not able to work, and still got kids, you got bills. Think about a barber that falls down and breaks his hand. He can't work, he ain't getting paid. So that's stressors, you have kids' needs, you have a mental toll, the abuse is shared because whether you know it or not, your kids can pick up on the negativity, they can pick up on the vibes. And in a whole lot of families, they're outright fighting over money, they're outright fighting over blame, over we can't do this, I want to do that. So the kids see these things and it gets accepted as normal. So what are we passing down? Normalness as brokenness. And then, who's heard the song, Cats in the Cradle? Your kid's gonna be just like you. I'm gonna be like you, Dad. My kid's gonna be like you. So this is where we talk about that applied education that I talked about. Not just the education, but applying it. And what education do we need to apply? How to have and build a family legacy by planning for tomorrow. How do we begin that? And then what do we do? How do we teach it? We begin with education. Again, you have to know things before you can even act on them. And these are things that should be taught in high school, if not before. Who knows the cash flow quadrant? Cash flow quadrant tells us how we work and get paid in this country. Left-hand side, you have an E. An employee trades their time for money. Employees, there's nothing wrong with being an employee, nothing at all. You work that 9 to 5. You as long as your job is there, it's kind of safe. But we know Tennessee is an at-will state, so I walk in and they say that, Damon, we're going with the no gray beard policy. You got to go. We're shutting down. We saw what COVID did, and your job's not necessarily guaranteed. But an employee, you feel safe. You know you're going to get paid as long as you don't work for SVP Bank or whatever that bank was. But you know that you're pretty safe, and a whole lot of people are comfortable, and that's good for a whole lot of people. But, and I think I know the answer to this. You're going to ask questions that I don't know the answer to. Is anybody going to get wealthy working one job for somebody else? Very, very, very seldom can you get wealthy working for somebody else because they're determining what you're worth. They're determining what you is the employee. That's what most of us start off as. That's what most people stay until we get tired of it. Then we say, you know what? I want to go be a realtor. I want to cut hair. I want to be a cosmetologist. So I do what I need to do. I become self-employed. Self-employed, you work for yourself. You chart your own path. But I was just about to say, if I'm that barber and the kids want to go to Florida for 2 weeks, what happens? If I'm a lawn guy and it's raining and I can't cut grass, I'm not making any money. So my business works for me, or I work for my business. So on the flip side, the right-hand quadrant, right-hand side of the quadrant, B is for business owner. And well, wait a minute, if I own a business, then I'm a business owner, right? If I'm self-employed, I own my business, I'm a business owner. Technically, however, a true measurement of a business owner is what we call 90 days. If you take 90 days away from your business and it makes the same amount of money or it makes more money, you're a business owner. If you take 90 days away and your business stays level or it decreases, you're self-employed. Biggest difference, you got somebody working for you. Who's seen a McDonald's owner flip a burger? Y'all work at Publix. When was the last time Mr. Publix was in there making a cake? Because they have other people doing it. But guarantee that owner can go on vacation whenever they want to. That McDonald's owner can choose where he wants to go, when he wants to be, and where he wants to be. His time is his freedom. He doesn't work in his business. He works on his business. And then the I is for an investor. That's somebody who has money to pay for that salon suite, for somebody that says, I want to do more than cut hair. I want to have the suite and have barbers and estheticians and cosmetologists working all for me. And I don't have to work there. All I have to do is make sure that the suites are nice and that everything is in place. And I can go on vacation as long as I got those chairs rented. And then I teach somebody how to do that. Somebody coming straight out of school, teach them how to do that, help them put their money where they need to be, and then grow into that area. Rule of 72. Who knows Rule of 72? It deals with compounding interest. If you want to make money, your money has to go somewhere where it's making money. That's passive income. Active income, I go to work 40 hours, I get paid for those 40 hours. But I put my money in the bank, and the bank pays me interest. So that money is working for me. Wealthy people understand getting money to work for them. As much as I work for my money needs to be working for me. But to understand that, we have to understand the rule of 72. And none of these things I'm saying are things that I created. So you can Google all these. This stuff's been around for years. Rule of 72 has been around for over 400 years. Nothing I'm doing is brand new. I'm just bringing the information from there to here. Rule of 72. If you take the number 72 and you divide it by the interest rate that you get, 401k, IRA, the interest that somebody pays you when you let them borrow money, you divide 72 by that interest rate, that tells you how many years it takes for your money to double. So if you get a 1% interest rate in a CD in the bank, one goes into 72 times is going to take your money 72 years to double. If you're younger, 72 years might not be a long time for your $100 to turn to $200. But I know that I don't have 72 years for my $100 to turn to $200. And interest rate, who works? Okay, I know we have some mortgage lenders. You work in a bank? What's the interest rate there? Don't give me the bank. Don't tell me the bank. What's the interest rate in the average savings account? Bank of America, and I did this because that's my bank, and I was talking to a client, and I said the same thing. He said, what about my bank? What bank do you have? Bank of America. Look up your savings account, because that's how most of us start putting money away. Savings account. 0.005. 0.005. And what does the bank do with your money when you put it in the bank? Not paid. They invest it, they give it away. Well, they loan it out. Home loans, student loans, credit card, 18%. Would that be fair to say? 18% interest rate on a credit card? So the bank gets 8. Well, I like to go with 18 because that's the one that's, it's not too scary. 18. 18 goes into 72 4 times. The bank's money is doubling every 4 years. They give you that 0.005 interest rate. How long will it take for your money to double? 0.005 goes into 72 how many times? 1,440. I didn't want anybody to pull off this year. 1,440 years for your money in that bank to double in that average savings account, because we don't understand CDs, we don't understand money markets, we don't understand these things.
When I first got in the bank, and I did see with my own eyes somebody who was paying their rent off the CD, but this was some years back.
Yeah.
When rates on
Back in the day, that you could have got 7. When I was a kid, you could get 7%.
They had about 100,000, but that 100,000 was paying their rent.
And the higher interest you want to get in the bank, the more money you have to have in there. Tell me if I'm wrong. And it has to stay there. You can't. It depends. It's not just for everybody. So, and how many people have a credit card from the same bank where they have a savings account? That's the bank saying, hey, let's bundle it. So the bank is saying, I want to borrow your money so I can let you borrow it, and you're going to pay the bank 18%, but I'm going to pay you 0.005% on your money. But we don't know about this because we don't know the rules of 72. And those are things that we need to know growing up. And then we need to talk about how money grows and how to protect it. And this is a 50,000-foot overview because a whole lot of times we don't get any information. So some information is the best place to start and then to follow. But I like to say it's like cooking. Who cooks? We have a bunch of parents in here. You know the difference between cooking and baking? Who's a baker? What's the difference? Baking is more exact. Right? You can put in a little bit of this, that when you're cooking. You can try a little bit of this. But baking, if it's a teaspoon, it has to be that level teaspoon. If it's a quarter cup, it has to be that quarter cup, or else it's not going to come out right. So we start by cooking. We start by teaching people how does money grow. It grows in a fixed account when you put it in that bank, and you get that 0.005% interest rate, and it stays there forever. It doesn't go up. It stays there until you do something, pull your money out, put it in a different vehicle. Variable, that's that 401k, crypto, anything market-based, and that's dangerous because a lot of times we hear buzzwords and we take actions without understanding things. We need to get into crypto. We need to get into Forex because such and such did it. They're making such a. Well, explain it. My buddy's doing it, so 401k. We don't get told. Is anybody in HR? Has anybody been explained fully about the 401k in HR? Of course not, because HR works for the company, and the company cares about the company. They don't care about us as much, so we're going to give you enough information that you need so you can make the best move for the company. So that 401k variable, it's in the stock market. Stock market goes up, yay. Stock market goes down, ooh. And as we get closer to retirement, the stock market crashing has a bigger effect on us. Who knows people that wanted to retire in 2019, 2020? You get to 64, 65. You're ready out of work 40 years. Now I'm ready to retire. And my whole hopes were pinned on that 401k that's in the market. And then the market drops 20% 3 years in a row. And now I expect to retire. Nope. Continue working. And then we have a way that it's indexed, which means that money grows in a fashion where it's similar to the market. It gets market resembling gains, but there's no loss to the market. Bless you. No loss to the market. Rises without gains. We had a client that was calling one of our agents that was upset because he said, I only got 0.75% return last year. Only got 0.75% return. This was not this past year, the year before. And my colleague said, well, the market, the Dow dropped 13%. The S&P was down 20%, or it might have been flip-flop. But they were both below 10% negative for the year. And he said, how much did you lose? You didn't lose anything, right? You might, in fact, you made 0.75%. When he explained that to the guy was like, oh, I'm going to shut up. Thank you. But, yeah, we want to grow money without losing it. And then when it comes to money being taxed, because the government's going to get theirs, and I don't mind paying taxes because I like my roads being fixed. We have military servicemen and women. I don't care what you say. If somebody hits my mom over the head, I'm calling the cops. I'm not calling Black Lives Matter. So I like taxes that are taking care of business. However, I don't like my unfair taxes being taken out of my pocket. So when we're talking about growth, that's when we have to understand how taxes work on growth. Tax now is tax immediate. You get money that grows. You win big in crypto. You get that check. Guess what? You have to pay taxes on it. You win the lottery. Guess what? When that money comes to you, you have to pay taxes immediately. put your money in the bank, you get that 0.05% rate of return. End of the year, you get a letter from the bank. Your money. Say that again. Yeah. Yeah. And when you put your money in your bank, you put it in there after taxes. So you get hit by the government first, put your money in the bank, you get that little nothing rate of return, and then that little nothing rate of return gets taxed. So that's taxed now, taxed instantly. This is the one that gets up, that tax later. Deferred taxes. Put your money in that 401k, the TSP, the 403b. Don't worry about your taxes now, Juanita. Taxes are going to be higher in the future. So you're going to put your money in now before taxes get high. And we fall for that. We're like, okay, yeah, I'm not paying taxes right now. I'm not paying taxes now. But they don't tell us you got to pay taxes. You got to pay taxes on the growth. You got to pay taxes in the future. When you go to get that money at 65 is when you have to pay your taxes. So you already been beat up by the market. And now you got to pay your taxes on what the market done left you. And you're in retirement age. Would you rather pay your taxes on the seed or on the harvest? On the seed, get it out the way. And that's what index funds can do. You pay your money on the seed. You don't have to worry about what taxes do. You don't have to worry about what the market does. It's all growth and no loss. Again, that 401k aspect gets us because think about it like this. You worked all your career. You're ready to retire. Ups and downs of the market. You have $300,000 at 65 when you're ready to retire. After the market, after taxes, $300,000, 65. Modern medicine, grace of God, good living. You're going to live 30 more years. 95, $300,000, 30 years at 65. Does anybody want to sign up for that? But that's what that 401k does. And we wonder why we see people that are in their 70s working at Walmart. And I don't mean the greeters. I mean the folks on those floors stocking those shelves. I saw one that looked like her grandmother. She was a little bitty old Asian lady working at McDonald's, climbing up on the steps, putting water through the ice cream machine. I don't know why, because it's always broke. But she looked like she shouldn't have been doing that. I don't want anybody that age working that sort of life. But that's what happens because we don't know about these sort of strategies. We don't know that there's a way we can grow money like it's in the market without losing it to the market, without losing it to taxes. It's our money. We can borrow it from it without penalty, pay ourselves back with interest, thus creating that family bank, creating family legacies. But it comes with a plan. It comes with creating a path. And everybody I work with gets a free plan. Everybody in here gets a free plan. Everything I do with my clients is absolutely free because it's vital. And the companies that I showed you, they're the ones that pay me. Nationwide has boatloads of money. I'll take Nationwide's money all day long and twice on Sunday if I'm able to help a family. But we talk about cash flow, making sure we're building a spending plan, knowing where each dollar is going. We're not just blowing money all willy-nilly. That's where moderation comes in. I'm not saying don't go to Starbucks, but know that you have a Starbucks budget. And after that Starbucks budget is gone for the month, then guess what? No more Starbucks. After you done bought those shoes, no more shoes for the month. Put it in a budget. Create a spreadsheet. Do the old school envelope system. Debt management. We do a good job building debt. We do a bad job handling it, paying it off. And then, well, Juanita, you're in the real estate industry. We have mortgage lenders in here. Is debt a significant thing when it comes to somebody's life, buying a house, buying anything major, doing it? Debt? Yes, and we do a great job building debt, but we do a terrible job managing it or beating it down and knowing how to get rid of it. The debt stacking process. A whole lot of people don't know that there's a way that you can stack your debt, not necessarily pay more than what you're paying, and know the date that you're going to pay it off. But it's a spreadsheet and it's a following the path that you create way to get there. One of the biggest problems that we have in our communities is debt because of a lack of an emergency fund. We aren't prepared for an emergency fund. Dave Ramsey says $1,000. I say anything. Start with anything. Make sure that if you run over a nail and you need a tire, you don't need to go to a cash loan place and get a cash loan at 400% interest to buy a tire because you don't have $150 in the bank. That's horrible. And I don't know who's familiar with Fort Campbell Boulevard, but from Kroger right there in Dover Crossing to Burger King right there by the post office, that's about I like to say a 5-mile stretch road, but that's about a 3-mile stretch road. And there are 8 cash loan places. 8 of them. All of them open. 8 of them. Yeah. I was on that hamster wheel. It's hard to get off. And they can charge up to 400% interest on some of their loans. 400%. How are you going to pay off a loan at 400% interest? And think about it. The way we operate, we're making this, and our bills are here. We're just barely outpacing our bills. So we think we're good. Emergency. Boom. Now I have to pull money out of my pocket or out of somewhere, and I'm not making any more money because I don't have that emergency fund. Protection. That's putting an umbrella over everything we're growing. We protect our phones, but we don't protect our lives. Again, making sure that everything I'm building, everything I am making happen for my family, I'm able to pass up. I'm able to make sure it's secure. Building wealth. Again, outpacing inflation. We talked about putting money in the bank. Even if you get a 4% interest rate on a money market in a bank, the inflation rate right now is running around 7 to 9%, probably higher. So if your inflation is 9% and you're making 4%, you're still not outpacing inflation. So we show people how to outpace inflation, how to grow their money without losing it, how to make sure you're able to protect it, and then preserving it, making sure you're keeping it, making sure that all your hard work isn't going to get wiped out by taxes. It isn't going to get wiped out by not having a will when you pass away. It's not going to get wiped out by not knowing that, hey, maybe I should have a trust. If my business gets to a certain level, maybe I need to look into having an S corporation. Maybe I need to look at these same things that wealthy people look at so I can make a different plan, create a different path, and that's what I'm doing